What's up, everybody? It's the Alex Leak and Friends NFL podcast, back for another week. I'm your host, Alex Leak. We have a special guest on with us this week, former LSU and NFL quarterback, as well as third baseman for the Florida Marlins, Josh Booty. Thanks so much for coming on, Josh.
Man, I appreciate you having me. It's an honor to be on the show. I can't wait to talk with you a little bit about football and life and sports, my brother.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. So let's start at the beginning. You played your high school ball at Evangel Christian Academy in Shreveport, Louisiana. Is that right?
That's right. In the early 90s, my dad founded the school with another gentleman in 1989, and it's a private evangelical type of school, Christian school, in West Shreveport, Louisiana, so close to the border of Texas, not too far from Dallas, a couple hours from Dallas off I-20 in North Louisiana. And, of course, everybody in Louisiana is an LSU fan, but that's how I grew up, man. In Shreveport, Louisiana, my dad founded the school, started the sports program. It was kind of a church school thing, and then we got the inner city kids involved, and we turned that thing into a football powerhouse. So it was a fun 4 years for me.
Nice. That's cool. That sounds like a lot of fun. When you were there, I mean, you tore it up. You threw for 11,700 yards, 126 touchdowns. You became the first high school player ever to throw for more than 10,000 yards, named USA Today Offensive Player of the Year and National High School Player of the Year, and you won the state championship in '93, right?
Yeah. My senior year, we were able to win the state title, and that game's always played in the New Orleans Superdome, the Mercedes-Benz Superdome now, of course, the home of the Saints. And
Nice.
so it was a thrill for you, as an 18-year-old, 17-year-old, whatever. It's fun to play in a championship game in the dome, and everybody shoots in Louisiana. All the high school kids shoot to end the season in the dome, and with the championship, we were able to do that. Now, all those stats and yards and all the fun things that came along with that were awesome. We threw the football 30, 40, 50 times a game sometimes because we went no huddle, shotgun, and 4 and 5 wide as far as wide receivers on the field at all times. So we were an up-tempo offense before up-tempo offenses were really, had really existed. We were trying to pattern ourselves a little bit about that after the University of Houston and what Klingler and Andre Ware and those guys were doing back in the late 80s. And just getting the ball out of my hand, being in a deep shotgun, letting me use my arm, route combinations, all the kind of fun things that you see today that teams like Oregon did a decade ago and teams that throw the ball like Texas Tech now. That's what we were doing back in the early 90s.
You had to love that. That seems like a very quarterback-friendly system to be running.
It was. I was a shortstop when I was a kid growing up, and I really didn't play football. And they asked me to come out my freshman year, and they said, "Hey, we're gonna put you in a 9-yard shotgun. We're gonna throw the ball every down, and we're gonna try to protect you." Well, we threw the ball every down. I was in a 9-yard shotgun, but I was running for my life. I was a little freshman, out there on the field, and got a lot of, early opportunity to play and at the new school. And by the time we were all seniors, we had, gained a lot of experience at the high school level, and we were better than everybody at that point. But early on, man, it was rough, but it was fun because we were throwing the football and ended up being, highly recruited. So it was a fun time for me.
Yeah, and from everything that I've seen, you were a hell of an athlete. You also played baseball and for the school, and you were named 4-time All-State shortstop. And you were the starting shortstop for the U.S. Junior Olympic National Team, and you won the silver medal in '93.
Yeah, it was. Baseball was a fun time too. I mean, my first love was baseball, and I got a chance to play on the Olympic team, the USA team, in all the years, USA Junior Olympic team, 18 and under team, and I showed up in San Antonio. Actually, I'm in San Antonio right now. My dad started a new high school down here, and I'm helping him get this off the ground. But back in '92, I was in San Antonio at the U.S. Olympic Festival. I got invited after my junior year, and I showed up at the Olympic Festival deal, and Alex Rodriguez was there. He was a year ahead of me, and He was
Wow.
playing shortstop, and so I moved over to third base, and we batted 3-4 in the lineup, and we went on to win a silver medal. We got beat by Cuba in the gold medal game in Canada that particular year, and the guy that beat us pitching was the guy named Levon Hernandez, who 2 years later was World Series MVP. He was pitching for Cuba before he defected to the Marlins, and actually I was a teammate of his later, a couple years later when he defected. But long story short, got to play shortstop, throughout high school. Was drafted early in the first round by the Marlins, and had a ton of fun there too. So I had an unbelievable high school experience, and a lot of it was because of my dad and the people and the coaches around me.
Like you said, you were drafted 5th overall in the 1994 MLB draft by the Florida Marlins, and you were also being highly recruited by major college football programs, but you decided to go with the Marlins. No one can blame you there.
Yeah. The Marlins were a new franchise, and Wayne Huizinga was the owner of the team at the time, and my agent Jeff Morad, who was Lee Steinberg, of course, the football super agent back in the day, and Morad was this unbelievable baseball guy, and he kind of positioned me for that draft to go to the new franchise, the Florida Marlins, so that there wouldn't be many third basemen ahead of me. When I showed up to camp, and so I got a lot of opportunities early, and I knew I was going to get those. So instead of going to LSU, which I chose out of high school to play football and baseball, sign and commit, my college career there, I ended up going to play professional baseball out of high school because, kind of where I was drafted, and the opportunities that came with being a Florida Marlin at that time.
Yeah, absolutely. And you had spent 5 years in the Marlins organization. You'd hit .269 for your career, 62 home runs in the single and double A minor leagues, and voted the minor league defensive player of the year in 1997 for the Portland Sea Dogs. You'd also play for the 1997 World Series champ Marlins, and you were the opening day starter at age 22 in 1998 for the Florida Marlins while playing for the legend baseball manager Jim Leyland. Can you tell me, what was it like to play with Jim Leyland? That's got to be fun.
Yeah, I love you asked that question. Leyland is one of my favorite people of all time. I was probably not ready to play in the big leagues with the bat yet. I was kind of I don't want to say forced to play up, but they were pushing me to play up, and Leyland really believed in me. He was that kind of guy. I mean, he loved sports so much and loved football. He knew I was an athlete. He just wanted to put me in the right place and believe in me, and I felt like he did. I remember in spring training in 1998 when I was going for that job to be the opening day third baseman. He said, "Hey, I don't care if you hit 220, play your butt off defensively, which I know you can do, and you'll be around a long time." So he put me just kind of in a good frame of mind, and he was such a master of that. He's kind of like in football, a Pete Carroll or a Nick Saban, somebody that really, you instilled your trust into. He loves hard workers, and I like to get after it. And being a football player too, I kind of forced things sometimes because of the football player, but I really played good enough defense to get myself in the lineup, and that was fun. That was fun being able to be there. I got hurt early in the season. We were playing Milwaukee, and there was a guy named Jeremy Burnett, who's a big fella.
Mm-hmm.
He was going first to third on a ball to right, and Sheffield threw the ball into third base. The ball was up the line a little bit, and I had to dive back towards third base and slid over my thumb. And Jeremy Burnett was a heavy set guy, and he blew out. I sprained my thumb ligament really bad, and on the tag play. So I kind of had to sit out the rest of '98. I ended up being in AAA at the end of the year, and then at the end of the year, Huizinga sold the ball club to John Henry, who's now the Red Sox owner. And Henry, I had a 5-year no football clause in my contract. Long story short, Henry let me out of my contract to go back and play college football. I had a brother that was a freshman receiver and all-SEC freshman at LSU, Abram. And I just wanted to go back and play football. I wanted to do do it for 1 year and see if I liked it. And instead of going to AAA in '99, I went to play went to play football at LSU.
Yeah, that's cool, and that's a good reason to go back and an opportunity to play with your brother. That's real cool. You go back in '99 to LSU. You beat out future NFL quarterbacks Craig Nall and Rohan Davey for the starting quarterback job. I know both of those guys. That's good. What was that competition like with those guys?
Well, it was pretty heated battle. Jerry DiNardo was our head coach in '99, and those guys had been around LSU football for a couple of years and knew the offense, knew the players, personnel. Had friends on the team, built relationships. It's hard to come in and unseat a guy that's been around a couple of years. But I felt like athletically, I was much. I don't want to say much better because those guys were NFL guys, but I felt like I could handle my own athletically with those guys any day.
Yeah.
And I had a lot going for me because the fan base had always wanted me to come back and play, and my brother was doing so well that I had a lot of things kind of happening for me from a media perspective. And so DiNardo put me out on the field in the second game of the year, and I ended up being the quarterback there for the remainder of that year and my first year there. So I won the battle, but we didn't play particularly well. So it was always who was kind of right on my heels, so to speak, I guess. And then DiNardo got fired after my first year there at LSU, and Chancellor Emmert, who's now the president of the NCAA, was our chancellor at LSU, and he hired a guy by the name of Nick Saban from Michigan State. And we knew who Saban was because LSU had just played in the Independence Bowl game against Michigan State, but we didn't really know Saban. And he showed up, and he hired a staff, Jimbo Fisher, Muschamp, Pelini. I mean, we duly a lot of football names now. A lot of guys who have been head coaches now in college football, but all those guys were young assistants, and he built a real quality program. We turned the whole thing around the next year, and I was fortunate enough to play well enough to get all SEC honors. And but we weren't really good that first year Saban was there, but we were okay. And we won the ball game. So we had a lot more fun in the second year I was at LSU than we did the first year.
Yeah, that's cool as hell. You get to play for Nick Saban. What was he like back then, before the Alabama days? Has Nick Saban always been the same guy?
Yeah, I mean, he's a hard worker. He'll tell you all he needs is about 3 hours of sleep. At night, he said, I'll outwork everybody because I'll work for 20 hours and everybody else works for 16, 17 hours. And he's right about that. It's a talent to not require much sleep. And he's a machine, man. He's detailed. He recruits better than everybody else. He recruits harder than anybody else. He travels to more schools. He sees more players. He evaluates players better. He's got a pro mentality at the college level. He goes all out. And at the NFL level, you'll see it because all those guys do that. But in college, there's only certain guys that really put the time and effort into every little detail and things like that. So we felt prepared because we outworked everybody else we felt like. And we were as physical and as strong and as determined and as ready and as polished as we could possibly be, and we felt like we could play with anybody. And I think that was the mindset that he creates and the competition that he creates, in that college environment, which is hard to beat.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's great insight there. That's cool perspective. Then you would be drafted in the 6th round by the Seahawks in 2001, and in your time you'd be on the Seahawks, the Browns, and the Raiders. Most of your time with the Cleveland Browns. What do you remember most about your time in the NFL?
Well, I spent 3 years in Cleveland, and it was very tough because we were a new franchise. Actually, the Browns had moved on to Baltimore, and then Cleveland had gotten the expansion team there, and Tim Couch was the first pick overall a year before I got there, so he was going to be starting no matter what, I was brought in. Butch Davis had recruited me when he was at Miami. He had recruited my family. Pete Garcia, the head of player personnel, he had recruited me when he was at Miami with Dennis Erickson. I mean, so I had known those guys for a long time, and they had wanted to get me to go to Miami and play football back when I was in high school. So I had a relationship there. They picked me up, and they picked me up off of waivers from Seattle. And I spent 3 years in Cleveland, and I tell you, it was cold. We went to one playoff game, and I backed up couch the entire time. And it's very difficult being a backup in the NFL. You get paid decent for sure, but you want to play, And so I sat behind him and watched and learned as much as I could, from watching. But it wasn't, it wasn't all that I wanted it to be, because I really wanted to get out on the field. But football and politics. I mean, if you're drafted first overall, you're going to be playing. So I had to sit and learn and watch, and it was unfortunate because I really wanted to be out on the field.
Yeah, it would have been nice to see you get a shot out there. Usually in the NFL, you can bank on some kind of injuries or some kind of opportunity, but it's got to be difficult just sitting there on, yeah.
Especially in freezing cold temperatures. That's why I mentioned it, because we were sitting on the sideline, and boy, we would freeze our tails off because Cleveland's not the warmest place in the world.
Yeah,
so if you're going to be a backup in the league, I would say go to Miami or San Diego if you can do it.
All right, let's switch gears a little bit. You've talked about playing for Leland and Nick Saban, these guys. Who are some coaches that you would credit with helping your career the most?
Well, my high school football coach, a guy by the name of Denny Duran, he really probably had the most influence on me because of the style of play that we were playing at a real high level, and no one else was doing it at that time. So it was very innovative what we would do with shotgun and empty sets and 4 wide receiver sets and motions and concepts and things that we were doing. I remember Mike Leach and Spurrier and even Bobby Bowden and Mark Rick. I mean, they would come and recruit our school, and they would want to sit in there with Denny and talk X's and O's. And Spurrier would pick up the stuff. Hal Mummy would pick up stuff from Denny. So, usually it's the high school coaches picking up stuff from head football coaches at the college level. But these college coaches were so intrigued with what we were doing and all the records that we were breaking that they would ask Denny questions, and Denny always had answers for them. So, it was really fun to play in that system, and I tried to take advantage of it.
Nice, that's very cool. Good answer on that. Do you I'll get you out here on this. Do you have any advice? A lot of kids nowadays are coming up and they're playing multi-sports, and they're trying to have their hands in any avenue that they can, athletic wise. Would you have any advice for these kids coming up playing multi-sports?
Yeah. I get asked this question a lot, actually. And it seems like every time there's this two-sport guy like Kyler Murray or Jameis Winston, there's always those questions, and I get them from the Foxes and the ESPNs and all that all the time because I dealt with it. But there's been a lot of guys through the years, Chad Hutchinson and Drew Henson, and Quincy Carter, and guys that tried to do both. I can really only speak for my position group because being a quarterback, you have to be there, whether it's on campus or in spring practice, football that is, or in the off-season conditioning and workouts and things where you're really the team leader. Especially at the pro level, you can't miss, as a quarterback, you can't miss half a season and come back. If you're Deion Sanders and you're playing defensive back where you just got to cover a guy, which is the hardest thing to do in sports, don't get me wrong, but you don't have to be responsible for what everybody else is doing and be the CEO of that team. I think the quarterback has the most responsibility, especially at the NFL level, where you're like the CEO of the franchise, the face. So you've got to be in the building. I think if you're Bo Jackson or Deion or Brian Jordan, those are 3 guys that definitely come to mind. You can do it, pull it off, and play pro at the same time at the highest level if you're a freakish athlete. But if you're a quarterback, it's hard to do both at the same time. And that's what I always wanted to do as a kid because I had big dreams. But at the end of the day, you just can't do both. I don't see it happening unless you're like a Michael Vick that just has extraordinary speed and elusiveness and arm strength like he had, where he could come in and play, and he could have probably played baseball as well or center field. I mean, that's the only athlete I've ever seen that probably could have pulled it off. I think nowadays the sophistication of the offenses and quarterbacks and their responsibilities and reads and being there for off-season workouts and being a team leader and, you know, all that comes along with it, you got to choose one or the other at some point. And so for young kids, I would say go, your body's type too, like Kyler Murray. He might win the Heisman this year, but he's 5'9". I mean, he's a baseball player because center field, it doesn't matter how tall you are. At the NFL level, 5'9" is very hard to do. So I think he'll have more success playing baseball if he can hit, you know, and he can lay off the curveball and all that. But, you know, I think, you know, the different type of people, the different type, you know, how big is he, how physical is he, that type of thing. If he's 6'5", I would say play football, you know, with a rocket arm because, you know, there's nothing like being an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a great answer, great insight, and great interview. Thanks for some of your time, Josh. This was real cool.
Yeah, man. Yeah, anytime, man. Call me anytime. I'd love to do an interview with you anytime, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe we could talk some LSU football later in the year or something.
I'd love it. I hope they keep winning, man. They're 3-0, and they got Georgia coming up October 13th, and we've got Ole Miss, we've got Louisiana Tech and Ole Miss in between now and Georgia October 13th, so we might be undefeated, and it looks like Georgia might be coming to the house undefeated too. So it's going to be one heck of a weekend. I can't wait for that LSU-Georgia matchup.
Hell yeah, then the LSU-Auburn just this last weekend was a great game to watch too.
It was. You know, the LSU played wonderful on the road. We've got an experienced quarterback because he's an upperclassman, Joe Burrow from Ohio State, transferred. He hadn't started many games, but he's a redshirt junior, and he's given us some leadership at that position. And we've got an awesome defense, and we won with a field goal with 2 seconds left. We beat Auburn 22-21, 42-yard field goal. He hit it right in the middle of the uprights, and LSU was able to pull off a huge win versus Auburn, which was ranked in the top 10. So LSU moved from, I think, 16 down to the top 10. I think they're 6 now in 2 polls. So LSU's having a pretty darn good year. And Orgeron, of course, family friend of ours, was at SC when my brother was playing quarterback. He recruited my brother under Pete Carroll at SC. So I'm pulling for Orgeron and LSU in a major way.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a reason they call it NFLSU. They get the best talent, great place. So, all right. Well, thanks for your time, Josh, and have a great day. And thanks so much for coming on my podcast.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yep.
Good night.
All right. Catch you later. All right, that'll do it for this week's episode. We'll be back again next week. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, and we'll keep the interviews coming. Appreciate the support, guys. Peace out.